In this series I talk about English words that people often confuse. This is probably gonna be my favorite video because these 4 words people confuse all the time. The 4 words I'm talking about is say, tell, speak, and talk. And here we'll talk about the first pair, say and tell. They do have quite big difference in their meanings, but sometimes they have the same meaning but different usage. Let's start with meanings. So say we use when we wanna quote somebody or report someone's words. That's why usually in grammar we have structure like somebody said something or somebody said that. Tell can be used for the same thing when we want to report someone's words, like for example he told, yeah, they told, but in usage it will be different. After tell we most of the time say whom the words were told to. For example, he told me, I told her, you didn't tell me, but maybe things like tell truth without somebody. And here we focus more on the bigger meaning of tell when we talk about like longer stories. Yeah, we can tell stories, we can tell jokes, we can tell truth or lies. So we have one difference in meaning. Yeah, so say is about something shorter, tell is about something bigger and longer. After say we usually say the words that somebody said, and after tell we first say whom and then what. So let's do some practice. You can just repeat some examples after me and after the videos. So he said it wasn't important.
But he said it wasn't important.
He said it wasn't important.
He said it wasn't important.
Next one, as I always say.
As I always say.
Well, as I always say,
As I always say, you have to spin a good yarn before you can weave a great dream.
And the last one, she said they'd be back.
She said they'd be back from the city today, right?
She said they'd be back soon.
Great, and moving on to tell. For example, I told you already.
I told you already.
I told you already.
Look, miss, I told you already.
I told you already.
I told you already, I have an exam tomorrow.
The next one, he was telling me about.
But anyways, he was telling me about how...
Yeah, he was telling me about the first vacation.
He was telling me about his sister.
He was telling me about a man whose wife died in suspicious circumstances.
And the last one, what did they tell you?
What did they tell you?
What did they tell you?
What did they tell you this place was?
In the second part, we're gonna talk about the difference between speak and talk, and write down your own examples with these words to practice the structures, and write down your questions if you have any.